Welcome back to Python Basic series. Today we are going to see conditional statements. All that you need to know about conditional statements in Python will be covered in this one single video. So do watch this entire video and welcome to ASA Learning. And now before moving on to the conditional statements in Python, we have to see the comparison and logical operators that we will use in the conditional statements. These are basic mathematical comparison operators. Let's see how to use it. Say 1 is greater than 2. If I run this cell, I'll get false. If you change it to less than, you will get true. So it returns a boolean value when you compare two things. And do note that you can compare two strings as well. For example, if string ASA is equal to string ASA, it will return you true. If there is a spell mistake, you will get false. Most of them falls under these 6 categories. Let's see some examples for logical operators. And now let's consider A equals 1, B equals 2, and C is 3. And here if A is less than B, so I'm going to give AND logical operator here, and A is less than C. So this should print me true because both these comparisons are true, and if you do an AND operator for these two, it will return you true. And if I say A is greater than C here, it will return me false. But instead of AND condition, if I use OR, it needs either one of them should be satisfied. So already A is less than B is satisfied. So this should give me true. An example for NOT operator is if you give NOT of true, it will return you false. And do note that we are going to use both logical operators and comparison operators in our conditional statements. As we are all set, let's see an example for if-else statement. Let's consider these 3 variables as input, and now we can write our conditional statement in Python. So if say A is less than B, and you need to specify colon here. So if you specify colon and give enter, it will leave 4 spaces, which is the indentation. If you don't give the indentation in your if condition, it will throw you an indentation error. So this is really important to leave this indentation, which means whatever you are going to write here, it is inside the if block. I'll write the statement here. And now let's see briefly on how if statement works in Python. For example, here our condition is A is less than B. So if our condition is true, it will execute the code inside the if block. So inside our if block, we have A is less than B statement. So it will get printed if the condition is true. Or if the condition is not true, it will go outside of the block. If it has an else statement, the else will be executed. As simple as that. Now let's get back to the example. If I run this cell, it will print A is less than B because A value is 1 and B value is 2. So if I change my comparison operator to greater than, nothing gets printed because we don't have an else statement here. Let's write an else statement. To write an else statement, again you have to maintain the indentation and you have to give backspace. So it will take you to the original block and you need to write the else statement for the above if statement. And now I have changed the statements because A value is 1. So now the else block will get executed. Let me run this cell. And here the second statement gets printed because the comparison returns false and this block is not executed, and hence it came to the else block where you have this statement. This is how you write conditional statements in Python. And now an important one, what if you want to write more than one if statement in Python, which results in else if statements. So you have an if statement and below it you have n number of elif statement, and then at last you have else statement. Let's see a quick example for this. I will use the same example and the same variables. So here I am going to include an elif statement. I'm going to check if A is less than C. So C value is 3. So I'll print A is less than C. Else I'll leave it as none. So here if the first condition fails, it will go to the second condition, and if the second condition fails, it will finally go to the else condition. So you can write n number of else if statements in between your if and else block. So if I run this cell, you will have A is less than C being printed because A value is 1 and C value is 3. This comparison operator returns you true, and hence this block is being printed. And here comes the interesting part. You can also write conditional statements in just one-liners. Let's see a quick example for it. If I give my A value as 5 and let's check if A value is greater than 7, we will print A is greater than 7, else we will print it is not greater than 7. Let's write this conditional statement in one-liner. And here what it implies is print something if my condition returns true. So print statement comes first and then I need to check an if condition here. So if a is less than 7, the preceding statement will be printed. Else you will be printing the last statement. It is really simple to write it in single line if you practice it. If I run this cell, the first statement will get printed because the first condition returns true and hence the else will not be executed. A quick recap on the conditional statements. We saw the comparison operators, logical operators, and if-else statements, nested if statements. Note, you can write how many elif statements that you want according to your requirement, and we also saw how to write conditional statements in a single line. I hope you all find this video useful. Leave a like, comment your queries below. I'll try to answer all your queries, and do check out the Explained in Minutes and Python Basic series playlist in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to ASA Learning and hit that bell icon. More videos on Python Basic series is coming soon. See you all in the next video. Take a pound.